Welcome to the Grand Comb, the home of psychological phenomena that shape our perception and behavior, often without us even realizing it. Here we unravel the mysteries of the mind, peeling back layers of cognition and emotion to expose the underlying mechanisms that dictate our interactions with the world. Each video is a voyage of discovery, a journey into the unknown that illuminates the hidden aspects of our existence. Today, we delve into the realm of 7 peculiar psychological effects that shape our world in ways both subtle and profound. First up, we explore the Werther Effect, a fascinating phenomenon where thinking about a physical action can improve performance. It's named after American psychologist Frank Carpenter, who first documented this fascinating aspect of our minds. His research showed that merely imagining an action can enhance our ability to actually perform it. This effect is grounded in well-documented research. For instance, studies have shown that basketball players who visualize making free throws improve their subsequent performance. Similarly, musicians who mentally rehearse a piece of music often play it better afterward. But it's not just applicable to sports and music. The Werther Effect has practical implications in many areas of life, including learning. Students who visualize the process of solving a math problem, for example, often find they perform better when it comes to the real thing. So remember, the power of visualization is not just a cliché. It's a scientifically proven technique to enhance performance. Next, we turn to the anchoring effect, the human tendency to rely heavily on the first piece of information encountered when making decisions. This cognitive bias is named for the way an initial piece of information, or anchor, is used as a reference point for subsequent judgments and decisions. Let's take a trip into the world of negotiations. Suppose you're bargaining for an antique. The seller suggests a price, and that number becomes your anchor. Even if you negotiate lower, that initial price influences your perception of the item's value. Research has shown that the anchoring effect is incredibly potent. In pricing strategies, for instance, retailers often use high initial prices to make subsequent markdowns seem more attractive. It's fascinating, isn't it? This effect subtly shapes our decisions, from the supermarket aisle to the boardroom table. So the next time you're negotiating a deal, remember the power of the initial offer. Now let's explore the scarcity effect, our inherent bias towards wanting things that are limited or hard to obtain. The scarcity effect is a psychological principle that taps into the human tendency to place higher value on things that are scarce. It's a fundamental driving force in consumer behavior, and marketers know it. Take a moment to think about those limited time offers or only a few items left tags you see in online stores. They create a sense of urgency, don't they? Well, that's the scarcity effect in action. It's everywhere, from the fashion industry to the tech market, even in the food and beverage sector. Research has shown that this effect can significantly influence purchasing decisions. A study from the Journal of Consumer Research found that limited availability can increase an item's perceived value by as much as 2 to 3 times. So next time you're tempted by a limited time offer, remember, the scarcity effect may be at play. Moving on, we delve into the Barnum effect, the tendency to accept vague, general descriptions as uniquely applicable to ourselves. Named after the famed showman P.T. Barnum, this psychological phenomenon plays a significant role in our daily lives, often without us even realizing it. For instance, have you ever read a horoscope or taken a personality test and found the results surprisingly accurate? You're not alone. Studies show that people tend to believe these vague and general statements because they perceive them as tailored specifically for them. This effect is widely exploited in pseudoscientific practices like astrology and fortune-telling, providing just enough detail to make us feel understood, but vague enough to apply to a wide range of people. The Barnum effect is a testament to our desire for self-understanding and validation. But it's also a reminder of our susceptibility to believe what we want to. So remember, the next time you read a horoscope or personality profile, the Barnum effect might be making it seem more accurate than it really is. Next, we examine the butterfly effect, the concept that small actions can have large, unforeseen consequences. Imagine a butterfly fluttering its wings in a forest in Brazil. This tiny movement, so the theory goes, could trigger a cascade of atmospheric events, eventually causing a tornado in Texas. This example, while extreme, illustrates the unpredictability and complexity of systems such as the weather, which are affected by this effect. Historically, the butterfly effect has played a significant role in shaping events. Consider the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in 1914. A seemingly small event in the grand scheme of things, yet it set off a chain of events leading to the First World War. Now that's a butterfly effect. These examples underscore the startling complexity and unpredictability of systems affected by the butterfly effect. So the next time you're faced with a seemingly insignificant decision, remember the potential power of the butterfly effect. Now we turn our attention to the Werther Effect, a spike in suicides following a high-profile suicide. This psychological phenomenon is named after the protagonist of Johann Wolfgang von Goethe's novel, The Sorrows of Young Werther, which sparked a wave of copycat suicides in Europe during the late 18th century. Public health studies have consistently shown the Werther Effect in action. For instance, in the weeks following the death of a celebrity, suicide rates can increase by as much as 30%. This troubling trend underscores the power that media narratives hold over our collective psyche, and it emphasizes the need for responsible reporting on such sensitive matters. The media's role, therefore, is not just about spreading information. It's about shaping the discourse in a way that safeguards public health. This is particularly crucial when it comes to suicide, where the wrong kind of exposure can have fatal consequences. So remember, the way we talk about suicide matters. The Werther Effect is a stark reminder of the power of influence. Finally, we explore the framing effect, how our decisions can be swayed by how options are presented. Imagine you're a politician. Would you prefer to tell your constituents that a policy has a 90% success rate or only a 10% failure rate? It's the same data, just framed differently. And yet, it can significantly influence public opinion. Or consider a doctor explaining a medical procedure. The choice of words can mean the difference between a patient opting for or against it. Studies have shown that our brains are hardwired to respond to positive framing, often leading us to make choices that might not be in our best interests. It's a powerful tool in persuasion and manipulation, but also a key element in effective communication and decision-making. So, the next time you're faced with a decision, remember the power of framing. It's not just what you say, but how you say it. We've journeyed through the fascinating landscape of psychological effects, from the Carpenter effect's power of visualization to the framing effect's influence on decision-making. Let's take a moment to reflect on our expedition. The Carpenter effect taught us the potency of mental imagery and its ability to alter our physical performance. Then, the anchoring effect revealed how initial information, whether accurate or not, can heavily influence our decisions and negotiations. We explored the scarcity effect, showing us how our perceptions of value can be manipulated by the illusion of scarcity. The Barnum effect followed suit, demonstrating how we often see personal significance in vague statements, leading us to believe in the accuracy of horoscopes and personality tests. The butterfly effect, a principle from chaos theory, gave us a glimpse into the vast interconnectedness of events where a small change can lead to significant consequences. The Werther Effect showed us the darker side of influence, where media portrayal of suicides can lead to a spike in suicide rates, a reminder of the responsibility that comes with information dissemination. Lastly, the framing effect opened our eyes to how our decisions can be swayed by how information is presented, rather than the information itself. Remember, understanding these effects can empower us to make better decisions and navigate the world with greater insight. Until next time, this is the Grand Comb, where psychology meets reality.